Hi everyone, it's Lynda Edited from icrafter, going live at exactly 11 a.m. Pacific time. So let me go ahead and get everything linked together. Okay, let's see how I did this last time. I feel bad. I'm just kind of lingering here. I can't see comments. I'm going to just go ahead and work through it, and I apologize. I can't see comments, but I don't want to keep this dragging on. I will have this figured out. I did it last time. Don't know why. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching, for joining me out there, and bearing with me. I've had some great comments from people liking that I've moved over to YouTube live. So I think this is my new home for Lunchtime with Lynda. And I have a couple of projects that I was working on, and I thought they ended up being rather small and quick, non-card projects, so I thought I'd combine the two of them. One is a little more Halloween, and one is a really cute autumn idea, so I thought I'd just put them together in here. So without further ado, is that saying still valid? I'm going to show you what I am working with. So let me go ahead and switch the camera down. Let's see. Okay, I got that part done. So some of you may remember my tiny terrariums. These are little domes, and then the die itself comes with 4 different cacti or succulent designs, and I just wanted to share these. These are my little favorites. I love these, and I'll just show you a few samples of what I've made with them first. This was a card, and I just cut a square and did it in 2 different colors, just cut at an angle to make the quote-unquote ceramic pots, and then added the succulents in there. And then kind of in another variation, I did this one early on in the quarantine that just said "quarantine sucks," and just did little faces on them, if you can see that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use this die that made this barrel cactus. I'm going to show you how to do something totally different for an autumn theme. Okay, so what I did, let me move this aside, don't need this yet, but these are the 3 pieces to make these 4 shapes. This one has these 2 smaller shapes in here, so I just die cut it out of an orangey cardstock. I did lightly ink up the edges. I used spiced marmalade on some and wild honey on the others, and of course I used my iBrush blender brush to add a little color on the edges of these. So I cut 2 of each size because you really only need 1 of each size to make something like this, but I'm doing it a little differently, so I did have to make 2 of each. So let me show you just real quickly, because they do get very tiny. So I wanted to show how I did the folding. This is just our iPress burnisher, and I'm using the flat edge, which is like a bone folder. And this is great about this too. You can see there's a crease line down the middle there. So I'm just putting this against that crease line, and I'm just folding it, creating the fold. It works really well in that it creates that point where the die wants to fold anyway, but you kind of tell it where to fold. You hold it in place. So that's the 3 larger sizes. So I'll repeat it again here. You just do it like that, right in the middle, and fold it, and fold it like that. Now when you get to these really tiny ones down here, you could do this just by your fingers, just kind of fold it in half You don't even have to use the tool if you don't want to. You just kind of, it's not a perfect fold, so you just kind of gently fold it in half vertically. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because these plants aren't absolutely perfect. Then what I'm doing is I'm taking some liquid adhesive and starting with the outside one. Now, here's another little thing, and it's not critical, but if you look at the pattern on the succulents, the barrel cactus, there is a flatter edge here and a little more of a curved indent here. Not critical. You could do it either way. I tend to like the more dented part, which is very subtle, but at the top. So it's the top of the cacti. So you just add a little bead of adhesive down the middle, and then you take the second largest piece. It also has kind of a side that is more dented than, oh, sorry, I'm putting two of the same thing together. Not paying attention. Let me do the adhesive again. And okay, so now I'm just folding them together and I'm putting the crease together in the center, and I'm just pressing it with my eye press burnisher so it holds together in the middle. And I'm just building it up. So then this time I'll be more careful. I'll use the next smaller piece, throw that in the middle, kind of give it a push in the center, and I'll make it more careful, a nicer bend when I'm done. I'm just doing all four of the sizes. And you could see what happened was I took this, what was a barrel cactus, and with the orange cardstock, I turned it into a pumpkin. Now it has little subtle edges on the pumpkin or on the succulent die that look like little thorns, but when you do it in orange, you don't even notice it because it immediately the color tells you that it's a pumpkin. And I did this sample, happens to be a creamy orange pumpkin, because I noticed there's some beautiful ones that are a lighter orange out there, and I thought I'd just kind of play up on the lighter, different shades of orange, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. And again, I apologize, I can't see who's watching, who's commenting. I think there's people out there. I hope. If you're catching it on the replay, thank you so much. If you're catching it live, thank you. I can't see what's who's there and who's watching, but thank you so much. So you can see now it's very flat, and you can see where the color has kind of helped. What I do is I come in and because the edges aren't glued down, you can now take the burnisher and come in and lift up the sides so you have a lot more dimension in there. Just flip it around and add dimension on this side. That's why you want to make sure your glue just goes towards the center of the seam between, or the fold in there. Now that one's a little tight. I did that side already. Turn it around. And so you can see it turned into a pumpkin. Now, next thing I did is I cut a strip of thin green cardstock. Now it's a sort of a muted green because it is autumny colors, but you can see I did it where it is, let's see, right there, a little thicker on one side and thinner on the other. Okay, and I'm going to take my iClick die pick, and starting with the thinner side, I'm just going to start wrapping it. Now this isn't an exact science, so you don't have to worry about, how exact this is. You just want to keep wrapping it until the whole thing's wrapped, except for that maybe a tiny strip, about 1/4 of an inch on the edge there. Okay, and that's for that part. Now, what I'm doing is I'm assembling, I have a toothpick, and I'm assembling them front to back so that I have a 3-dimensional pumpkin. So you can see it from either side, and here's the thing, if you left it just like this and added the little green, you could add that to a card. It would be really, really cute. But I wanted to make something that's more of a kind of a home decor or party theme, maybe a little table topper kind of thing. So what I'm doing on the back side of one, I am just adding a little bit of adhesive there, and I am just gluing that just like that. Nothing fancy. It's just glued down and you can see it there. Okay. And then I'm going to put a little bit, this part, I'm just putting adhesive. I'm going to glue the front to the back, but I'm leaving, I'll show you up close in a second. I'm leaving a little bit of gap right in here because I want to be able to, once it's assembled, stick the toothpick up in it when I'm nearly done with it. I just did it. I didn't want to glue the toothpick in place so that it can be removed if you want to use it for something else, but you can see I'm just gluing front to back. Okay. And I know I lifted all these earlier. You can lift them again when it's all glued together. But here's the fun part about that little bit of green. I'll show you up close if I can. You can see it's curled like that. Can you see that? So all you have to do is with your eye grip tweezers is pull it slightly. And now you have something that looks more like a true pumpkin little twisty top kind of shape, if you could see that. So kind of a fun little thing you could do. Now you have that empty gap in the center there, so you can stick your toothpick up there. Now here's the fun part I want to share. I'm going to move these dies. This is what I've made several beforehand. So this is just a little clay pot. There's a bit of styrofoam in the center and then some brown, just like craft paper or paper bag kind of thing. And I'm just sticking, there's 2, 4, 6, 7. This is the 7th one. And I'm just going to put this one, and you could just vary the height. Isn't that cute? You could just do something like that and just do a whole bunch of these. I did several, I think 4 or 5 shades of orange in there because pumpkins are always different colors. Now, it looked a little bare. Oh, let me just show you from the back. So you could set this in a place setting, but it looked a little bare. I didn't want all those toothpicks showing. So what I did, I cut, okay, so I cut from our geometric wreath die. I cut some of the greenery on it. You can see all the different shapes. So I cut, here's some of the greenery because pumpkin patches have a lot of greenery in there. Now you could just see how that's going to look with those glued in there. So I'm just going to, you could either glue it to the pot if you want, or you could glue it to the stem of the toothpick or to the pumpkin. I'm just going to do a few of these. Now, granted, I know these aren't true pumpkin leaves. I know that. But it was the closest thing I could find that kind of looked, kind of had that look that I wanted. Again, you could pull these out. You know what? I think I'll do that. I'll pull these out and you could just kind of wrap it even if you wanted to. Here, let me do that. I'm just going to put a little glue to wrap the leaves around the stem, and you could see, now I could just insert that back in. So it's just another way to add some dimension to it. Plus, it will cover up some of the stems in there. I cut, I don't know, maybe 6, 7 of these. So I'm just going to go back in and add them where I want them. This one I'm going to add a little adhesive on the front, and I'm just going to glue to the front of the pot just to give, again, some dimension up there. And I'll go around and glue a few more to finish it off or to add some color in there. The other thing I did too, and I'll keep working on that, is I stamped from the Leaves Are Falling stamp set, the Happy Autumn, and the beautiful thing was it fit perfectly inside the Apothecary label die, and this die cuts this outer shape. You can see that, and the Happy Autumn fit inside perfectly. I stamped it with Versamark and then put copper colored Perfect Pearls on there, and then I put our let me see if I can find it, the icrafter I-Stick double stick adhesive sheet on the back of it. So I'm going to create a little label. Now I was debating whether to do it as a signage. I was thinking maybe put some sticks and do a signage on top, but then I decided no, I'm going to do it on the front of this. So just like that, just gonna, little, sticks really well. Straight, I'm going to try doing it straight. I recommend visually, it does look better when it's straighter. So did the Happy Autumn on there, and again I'm going to finish it off with a little more greenery on the pumpkins, but you can see how much fun that is. Very simple. It's again using the cactus from the let me see, I don't have, it's called the Mini Succulent Terrarium. This is my working packaging, how I store it, but you can see it makes these cute little succulents, but if you do it in orange, it turns into cute little pumpkins for an autumn design, home decor design. And like I said, I'll finish off the greenery later. I don't want to spend all this time doing this because I have a second one that I can't wait to share. I did a, this is the other project. What I am using, okay, so project 2 coming up, I am using the Tunnel Card Halloween add-on, and of course I need the Tunnel Card base swan with that, and then I'm using the mini Halloween hauntings, just one of the shapes from this die set. So let me show you what I'm making. What I did, I'm doing the tunnel card, but I'm just using 2 pieces. I'm not doing all the shapes in there. There's something different that I wanted to do. So when you do the tunnel card, you cut it out of the swan set, and we have tutorials all over our YouTube channel, but this is the main shape. This comes from the swan set. I could show you right here. So this is a swan. This is the main piece you need to make any of our tunnel cards. And so I die cut without anything in the center. I just cut it out of orange cardstock, and you see that's what you see here. Took the same shape, and from our tunnel Halloween add-on, I just added this in the center, and I die cut it again, and I got this shape. Now normally you would die cut a third one, but I didn't on this case, and there's a reason why, and I will show you in a bit. On these there are crease lines, so I'm just going to fold them. When you're working on the back panel, you fold it into valley folds forward. Okay. And when you're working on the front panel, you do mountain folds backwards. Now, like I said, normally there's a center panel, but this is a totally different, more of a home decor kind of piece, display piece. Now, before I finish this off, I'm going to do something really funny. It's going to look really strange. Bear with me here. On the back side of the front of the card, okay, so turning it over, and now I have my vintage Scotch tape dispenser. Ta-da! It's cast iron, I think. It weighs a ton, but It's so cool. I'm going to take off some of the tape. I want some really clean, I know it sounds really strange, clean tape. Okay, so you have a clean piece of tape, and from the back, and I know this is really weird, I'm putting the tape downwards. Does that make sense? It's kind of weird, so it's sticky on the front. And I'm going to do one more, and this will all make sense in a second. And I'm going to do it, let's see, do it crossing over that way. So again, it's sticky on the front. What am I doing here? Yes, okay. I am also, let's see, I'm going to add, I die cut out of the mini Halloween Hauntings some spider webs from vellum, and I cut, let's see, I actually did two. I'm going to leave that the way it is. I'm going to add, I could add the spider webs on the outside here. I know, this is, the tape has a reason, honestly. And I just want to say, I hope everyone's having a nice autumn. I hope it's not too cold where everybody is. Okay, I'm just adding the spider web kind of gently up here. I'll clean that off, add a little, tape it, glue it down. Okay. And honestly, this all makes sense in a second. So, I'm just, okay, so there's one spider web, and I'll have a second one added on as well. But I want to do the next piece first before I do that. I am going to glue these together. Now, there is no middle panel. Normally we would be doing a middle panel. I'm not going to have one on this. Again, there's a reason. And I want to glue down the spider web a little bit more. And I'll glue the other spider web down when I determine where I want it. But right now I'm going to glue these two panels together. And I hope everyone's, whoever's out there, I hope you realize, I apologize that I do not have, I wasn't able to connect my Facebook page to this to get the comments, so bear with me, but I appreciate it if you're out there watching. And so let me squish that down. Now again, remember the tape is facing up, so you kind of have to be careful not to touch it because it'll lose its stickiness. And you need to put it on before you glue these panels, the front to the back, because it's hard to get the tape in there after you, once it's all glued together. So we're just kind of gluing this into a box shape. Oops, caught it there. Okay, so we're gluing the two sides together. It's going to be like a very deep shadow box. At this point too, now I'm going to wait and, like I said, do the spider web at the very end. Next thing I'm going to do is the, I cut a little ghost out of, from the mini Halloween Hauntings, and I am going to put him right there on the tape. Okay, there is a reason. Let me, a little bit of glue stuck on there. Okay, so there's a reason for him, trust me. And this is the funny part. I printed this out, and then I die cut it with the banner. So it's going to go here. It's my ghost caught on tape. So like I said, there was a reason. It's kind of a joke, a pun kind of thing. But I just, Maybe I've watched too many ghost stories on YouTube or something. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious. The ghost caught on tape and just sitting there. So now I could straighten out these box parts. I just put a little glue on either side. The ghost is there caught on tape. And now I still have one more spider web that I could finish this off. I might do it like right there, which would be kind of cool because now it's connected to the words. So let me just do a little bit of that. And this is kind of little patience, just dabbling a little bit of glue on everything. But there's tape down there too. So you could glue it to the tape or stick it to the tape. I'm moving it over a little bit because I don't want it actually touching the ghost. And so I've made a really big gluey mess here, but it's kind of just a fun little play. Just add. So what you can do is actually push it down. I just don't want to have it stick to the back part. And vellum is a little tricky, but so this is the second project. My ghost caught on tape, and it literally is caught on Scotch tape. So I hope people are enjoying this. Again, I can't see any comments. I wish I could, but I had fun sharing these two projects. One with using my mini succulents as pumpkins, and I'll finish off these greenery in there. And the other is my ghost caught on tape, which I've just been wanting to make this forever because it is just the funniest thing. I just thought it was just hilarious. So anyway, I'm going to switch it back. So I hope everyone's enjoying this. I'm sorry I can't read the comments. I'll go back in afterwards and read any comments and answer any questions. I had a lot of fun thinking up these two ideas. I will post these on our Pinterest, Instagram, on our website, and just kind of share this all over the place because I had so much fun with these. Be sure and subscribe to and follow our YouTube channel for notifications when we come on. We have so many new projects and videos on things, and we are just having so much fun here. And I thank everybody again for joining me on these Lunchtime with Lyndas. I hope you're enjoying it. Leave a comment and let me know. We're kind of getting close to Halloween, so our Halloween projects will be finishing up, and then we're going to go full force into Christmas, which will be fun. There's so many things to make with our dies and stamps, and so I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're catching it on the replay, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you